Hey, this is Victor, and I'm unboxing the Star Wars Miniature Revenge of the Sith starter game. This game was discontinued a long time ago, and I actually already bought the starter a long time ago as well. Um, Unfortunately, I ended up losing it and a lot of the pieces, but I had all the rares. I got great pulls out of every single one. But I guess the game was probably kind of expensive, and miniatures are very hard to carry around. Um, so, and I'll be honest, for this unboxing, I ripped off the plastic in anticipation, so you don't get to see that, but you'll get to see the inside contents. It's a real shame that this game didn't really hit it off, uh, because I believe they're trying to compete with other games like Warhammer, and it wasn't out yet, but War Machine. But it had a lot of flavor to it, and it followed similar mechanics to D&D. I haven't played a lot of D&D, but it used cards and had all your favorite heroes. You could play from the original trilogy or the new trilogy. I'm hoping with the new movie that we see another Star Wars miniatures game, but that's pretty unlikely. So without further ado, this is the box. Some decent box art on it, and I bought this at Mostly Music in Port Coquitlam for $30. When I very first bought the game, I spent almost $200 on this and like all these booster packs, and I have this bad tendency to go all out when I start to buy a game. It doesn't matter what it is, card games, whatever. I always start off spending this big lump sum, and then I overwhelm myself with the different cards and rules. But this is the back of the box. Shows everything that it comes with. So we'll start from here. It comes with a hard board, and unfortunately they never released a starter box for the original trilogy. Had they done that, I think it would have been a little more successful. And it's Grievous versus Obi-Wan, which is kind of cool. I just kind of wish the map for it was like the map in Revenge of the Sith. So now let's open her up. Yes, hi Archie. And my cat is here as well. Yes. My cat actually is the reason I lost so many of my miniatures. He didn't like most typical cat toys, but he loved my Star Wars miniatures, and I started off with about 100 of them, but he used to steal them all the time, and to get him to stop stealing my Warhammer, I'd play fetch with the Star Wars miniatures with him, and he seemed to really enjoy them. But so what do we have here? We have this set collection list where you check off everything you have. And on the back, it advertises the other game that they had out at the time. It was the Miniatures War game for Dungeons and Dragons. And it's kind of cool because Wizards of the Coast kind of had their own counter to Warhammer, both fantasy and sci-fi. What is this? Here's the quick start rules, if you don't really feel like reading all the fine details. Some pictures of the miniatures, so you know what you're playing as. Pictures of the map. Yeah, nothing in particular. I've actually only played one game, and it was against my brother, and he won. And I didn't really have a temper tantrum, but I got all butthurt, to say the least. And we got the advanced rules. I'm planning on learning the ins and outs of this, even though this only comes with 6 miniatures. I'm going to go around and see if I can find some more booster packs. Not make something... I'm not going to make 2 giant armies or anything, but I want to make a couple squads and just going to have it as a standalone game. The counters, I remember these. To help you with math. I actually have some of my own nice plastic kind of counters. They're really cool. I'd rather use those than these because these are only one-sided. I mean, it's not the worst, but it kind of makes it look cheap in some ways. 20-sided die. Obviously. I mean, it's mildly based off of the D&D mechanics in some ways. But yes. unopened Obi-Wan. Unopened Grievous. 2 unopened Super Battle Droids. 2 unopened Clone Troopers. Now before I open those, actually, you know, I'll open these first. Let's open Grievous. Now take a look. You didn't get to paint them, which was kind of a plus. Like, I already have Warhammer, so that's kind of what I use for painting. And you can't see on the camera, but this is clear. So, it really kind of looks like a lightsaber. I believe there was another Grievous that was out, where he had all of his arms out, with all the lightsabers. That would have been really cool, but I love this pose. Let's open Obi-Wan. You see, the lightsaber's a little bit bent. I don't know if you can see that. There's a simple fix, and it's not just bending the lightsaber. You can boil some hot water, kind of dip it in quickly, and just kind of take your fingers and just kind of pull on it. Yes, the miniatures are actually quite detailed. Like, you can clearly tell it's Obi-Wan. You can clearly tell there's Grievous. I remember when he used to have Darth Vader and everyone, and that was crazy. I'll open these 2 Super Battle Droids at once. Okay, I'm just going to open them one at a time. Wow. There's a fair amount of detail on those. Get a 360 view here. Best I can. I can't remember how balanced the game was. And as much as balancing can matter, it makes or breaks the game. It really doesn't. We got these clone troopers. Like I said, I really hope that they try to reboot this, because it's beautiful. Like, the flavor of the game, like, it felt like Star Wars. Now, my favorite part, I don't know, I can't speak for you guys. This beauty right here. Now, if you bought the Attack on Endor, you got a paper board. And that's all cool and all, but it was flimsy and whatever. This here is a nice, solid, fold-out board. Like I said in my last unboxing for the GoPro, some people have actual scissors and everything. They're all set up. You should check those guys out. Couldn't tell you who the best unboxers were, but maybe one day we can have an unboxing competition amongst all the friction burn of rubbing back and forth. It worked though. This is what I like. I like this nice texture on the board. You open it up. Hopefully I can get it all in one shot here. Ooh. It doesn't unfold once, but twice. We have this entire battlescape. I'll start from the right of it, and I'll go to the left. And then down. Ooh. It's actually a pretty fun game. It's pretty simple. If you can manage to get your hands on it, I highly suggest it. At least the starter set. And I mean, if you're not too much into the whole wargaming scene and you just want a simple game to just kind of play with your friends, it's a lot of fun. I guess I can try to show you what it looks like with guys actually on the board. You got the turbo lift. There's a maintenance station. There's little droids and stuff on it. Like, this was by far the best detailed of the maps. Maybe not detailed, but most colorful, easy on the eyes. You can see all the tiles. And the coolest part, you might not be able to see this in the video because of the quality, but the tiles themselves actually just kind of look like floor tiles. It looks like floor tiles. It doesn't really look like a grid itself. And that really helps immerse me into the game. I think the Dungeons and Dragons tiles do pretty much the same thing. But another cool thing about this is I can use this for my other board games that I've been trying to make to really add some sci-fi flavor to it. But you see, like, there's little droids working on damaged parts and whatever. But then you see, there's the other problem with a game that relies on a board, is that you have to release expansions that don't come with a nice hard board like that. And you have to have that flimsy paper. I believe it shouldn't be too hard to convert it to inches, so you can use measuring tape. But overall, I'd have to say, for wargaming, for the most part, measuring tape wins. Because you get more directions of movement. For example, like, see Grievous here, he can move to a tile or a tile, but there's no real in-between, if you know what I mean. Whereas with a measuring tape, you got a whole circle of movement that you can go around. Yeah, I'm about to go buy Space Hulk on Steam, so I'm going to cut this short. See? Folds up nice. Great for pulling out, and in all honesty, I'm going to buy a couple of starter sets myself, and can I make it a standalone game so that I don't have to, my friends won't have to buy it. We can, if they feel like playing a Star Wars themed game, we'll just have it right here and ready for them. Also, I guess I'll just do another quick plug. This pendant that I'm wearing, I'll put a link into the description, was bought off of Haley's Hippy Doodah. This is rose quartz. You can't really see because of how I have the coloration. But it's got a tiny tinge of color to it. But it's not too rosy. I mean, she has more rosy stones, but I got this for about $15. This is pure hemp, and there's plenty of stuff on there. It's all hemp based. The weave on it is actually real nice. And when you know that it's 100% like hand weaved, and you know that there's this one person making all these pendants and bracelets and quest satchels and probably soon to be in the future hacky sacks, it just adds a little bit of flavor because you know someone made this by hand. As much as I don't really have too much against like gold and silver and all that, I'm more of like a cheap rock that looks nice. I like that. And there's like a little bit of spiritual connections to it. Like, I'm an Aries. Rose quartz is an Aries stone. And it's basically an overall cleansing stone to help people, anxiety, just overall anything you're really looking for help with. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching this unboxing. My name's Victor Bidwell, and have a good night. I just realized after watching that I forgot to unbox the cards for you guys. So, let's take a look. So, every card has a front side and a back side. The back side, you turn it over so that you know that you already made your movements for that character. That's kind of cool, because I wish more tabletop games kind of incorporated something like that. The other side has the stats. You get your attack, your defense, hit points, and damage. you roll for armor penetration and whatnot, and there's all these force powers if you're using a hero. That was Obi-Wan. Let's take a look at a clone trooper. As you can see, the clone trooper is blank. That's because it's just a clone trooper, and it ain't no hero. Super Battle Droid. As you can see, good guys are red. Bad guys are blue. We got a special role for the Super Battle Droid. That makes him OP. And Grievous. There you go.